everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring the top 10 innovative business ideas that are predicted to really make waves in 2025. It's going to be fascinating to kind of dig into why these specific concepts are, poised to take off.
Yeah, it's like we're getting a sneak peek into the future.
Exactly.
And, these ideas aren't just random guesses, right? They're based on all these emerging trends, technological advancements, and, shifts in what consumers are looking for.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The first one on the list is AI-powered personal assistants. I mean, we've all seen the basic versions, but what's got everyone buzzing about their potential in 2025?
Well, think about it. What if your AI assistant could do more than just, remind you about a meeting with, let's say, Sarah? What if it also, analyzed real-time traffic data to suggest the fastest route, automatically pulled at the presentation files for that meeting, even pre-ordered your usual coffee for pickup on your way?
Okay, yeah, that would be a game changer for sure. Suddenly, those little daily hassles just disappear. And I bet businesses are already brainstorming ways to capitalize on this.
Absolutely. Imagine specialized AI apps, designed for specific professions like lawyers or doctors, or platforms that seamlessly integrate with all your devices, your phone, your car, even your smart home. The possibilities are mind-boggling.
Next up, we have sustainable packaging solutions. I mean, everyone's talking about being eco-conscious these days.
Right. Remember that bamboo toothbrush you bought recently? That's a perfect example of this shift in consumer values. Over 70% of people now actively seek out products packaged with sustainable materials.
So it's not just a trend, it's becoming a core part of what people look for when they buy something.
Exactly. Companies are definitely taking notice. We're seeing innovations like biodegradable and compostable materials, reusable packaging systems, and some companies are even trying to reduce packaging altogether.
It makes you wonder, though, are regulations keeping up with consumer demand and these new innovations?
That's the big question. Some governments are definitely pushing for stricter rules around, plastic use and waste management. But it's a complex issue with a lot of moving parts.
All right, moving on to an area where sustainable solutions are not just a nice to have, but increasingly necessary. Vertical farming. This idea really captures the imagination, doesn't it? Fresh food grown right where people live, even in the middle of a bustling city.
Think about having fresh strawberries in December grown right on the rooftop of your apartment building. It's a pretty compelling vision, but how does it actually work on a large scale?
Yeah, I'm curious about the technology behind it. Is it basically like a high-tech greenhouse just stacked vertically?
You got it. It's
Yeah.
all about utilizing vertical space and creating these controlled environments to optimize growing conditions. They use things like LED lighting hydroponics, which is growing plants in water instead of soil, and sophisticated climate control systems to maximize yield.
So it's like a skyscraper for plants. But is it really more sustainable than traditional agriculture? Or is that just hype?
It's not just hype. It actually has some real advantages. Vertical farms use significantly less water and land. There's no need for harmful pesticides. And you drastically reduce transportation costs and emissions because the food is grown right where it's consumed. Plus, they can operate year-round, providing a consistent supply of fresh produce regardless of the weather.
Okay, I'm sold on the benefits, but let's talk about the elephant in the room. Cost. Can vertical farming realistically compete with traditional agriculture, or is it just a luxury for high-end markets?
That's a valid concern. The upfront investment to set up these high-tech farms is definitely higher, but the operational costs are often lower in the long run because you're saving on water, energy, and transportation. Plus, the higher yields and faster growth cycles in vertical farms can help offset those initial costs over time.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about blockchain, but not in the way you might think. We're talking about blockchain for supply chain management.
We're moving beyond the crypto craze and looking at how blockchain can make a real difference in the real world. Think about that coffee you had this morning. It went on a long journey before it landed in your cup.
Okay, I'm following. Where are we going with this?
Blockchain can actually track every single step in that journey, from the coffee beans being harvested to them being roasted, shipped, and finally brewed into your cup. It's a transparent and tamper-proof record. So you can actually see the date the beans were picked, the farms they came from, even the different processing facilities they went through.
So it's like a digital trail that reveals every step of the process. But how does this benefit businesses?
Well, for one, it builds trust with consumers. When you can see the entire journey of a product, it eliminates any doubts about its origin or quality. Plus, it can help businesses streamline logistics, reduce paperwork, prevent costly errors or delays, and even combat fraud. It's all about creating a more efficient and trustworthy system.
This sounds like a game changer for industries like food, where knowing where your food comes from is becoming so important. What else is on this list of innovative business ideas?
Let's talk about health and wellness tech, another area where we're seeing some really exciting advancements.
We've already seen the rise of telemedicine and wearable fitness trackers, but what's next? I've been reading about the potential of AI-driven diagnostics and personalized health plans based on your DNA. It's like science fiction becoming reality.
It really is. Imagine getting health insights tailored specifically to you. Your AI-powered health assistant analyzes your genetic data, your lifestyle, your medical history, and even your wearable sensor data to provide proactive and personalized recommendations.
So it's like having a personal health advisor constantly monitoring your well-being and providing guidance. But wouldn't that be incredibly expensive? I mean, personalized healthcare sounds like something only the wealthy could afford.
That's a valid concern. But remember, technology tends to become more affordable as it becomes more widespread. And preventative care can actually save money in the long run by catching health issues early.
We were just talking about how technology is changing healthcare, but what about the way we learn? Personalized education platforms is next on our list of innovative business ideas, and I think this one has huge potential.
Oh yeah, definitely imagine a world where education is no longer a one-size-fits-all approach, but like a custom-designed learning adventure tailored to each student's individual needs and interests.
It's like finally ditching those outdated textbooks and stepping into a world where learning is actually engaging and fun.
Exactly. Picture this. You're struggling with a history lesson about ancient Rome. Instead of just reading dry text, your personalized learning platform transports you to the Colosseum using virtual reality. You're right there in the heart of the action, experiencing the sights and sounds of a gladiatorial contest.
Okay, that's way more exciting than staring at a textbook. But how would these platforms actually work in practice?
AI plays a big role here. These platforms would use AI to assess a student's strengths and weaknesses, creating individualized learning paths that adapt as they progress. They can also incorporate elements of gamification to keep students motivated and engaged.
So it's like having a personal tutor and a video game designer all rolled into one. I can see how this could be a game changer for students who struggle in traditional classrooms.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about making learning more fun, it's about equipping students with the skills they need to succeed in a rapidly changing world. Things like critical thinking, problem solving, and adaptability.
Okay, let's talk about another big shift happening in the way we work. Remote work. It's no longer just a trend, it's becoming the new normal for many industries.
Yeah, the challenge now is to move beyond just replicating the office environment online. We need to create virtual spaces that are purpose-built for remote work, fostering genuine connection and collaboration.
It's like building a virtual office that has all the best parts of a physical office. The camaraderie, the brainstorming sessions, even the water cooler chats, without all the downsides like the commute and the distractions.
Right. And these remote work solutions need to go beyond just basic communication tools. They need to provide resources that support the well-being of remote workers, addressing things like ergonomics, mental health, and maintaining a healthy work-life balance.
Speaking of sustainability, next up we have circular economy businesses. This is a concept I think everyone should be paying attention to.
It's about moving away from our current linear take, make, dispose model and embracing a closed-loop system where we reuse, repair, and recycle products as much as possible.
It's like giving those old jeans you never wear a second life instead of just tossing them in the trash.
Exactly. Think about it. You buy a new phone. What happens to your old one? In a circular economy, that phone would be designed to be easily repaired and upgraded so it could have a longer lifespan. Or maybe it would be disassembled so that valuable components could be reused in new products.
Okay, I see how that would reduce waste, but how does this translate into actual business opportunities?
There's huge potential for businesses specializing in repair, refurbishment, upcycling, and innovative recycling methods. As consumers become more eco-conscious, they're actively seeking out these kinds of services.
Next up is a field that seems straight out of a sci-fi movie. Genomic and biotech innovations. It feels like we're on the cusp of some truly mind-blowing breakthroughs.
Imagine a world where diseases could be eradicated through gene editing, where crops are engineered to be more resilient and nutritious, and where medicine is tailored to each individual's unique genetic makeup.
It's both exciting and a little bit intimidating, right? This technology has such enormous potential, but there are also some serious ethical considerations to think about.
Absolutely. It's crucial to have open and honest conversations about these technologies.
Yeah.
Who has access to them? What are the potential unintended consequences? These are questions we need to be grappling with as these innovations become more powerful.
Okay, let's circle back to AI-powered personal assistants. We talked about the consumer side of things earlier, but what about the business opportunities?
Think about it. You're a small business owner drowning in emails, appointments, and to-do lists. Your AI assistant not only manages your schedule, but it also analyzes your customer data to identify trends and opportunities.
Hmm.
It drafts personalized marketing emails, handles basic customer service inquiries, and even helps you optimize your pricing strategies.
So it's like having a whole team of virtual assistants at your fingertips. That would be a game changer for busy entrepreneurs.
Right. And we could even see AI assistants tailored for specific industries. Imagine an AI assistant for lawyers that helps with legal research drafts, documents, and even predicts the outcomes of court cases.
This technology could really level the playing field for smaller businesses, giving them access to tools and insights that were previously only available to large corporations.
Exactly. And speaking of leveling the playing field, let's talk about vertical farming again. You were asking earlier about the cost and whether it can compete with traditional agriculture.
Yeah, that's still a big question mark for me.
Well, one thing to consider is that as vertical farming technology matures, it's likely to become more affordable and accessible. And as demand for locally grown produce increases, we could see governments offering incentives and subsidies to encourage vertical farm development.
So it's not just about the cost of production, it's also about the value consumers place on things like freshness, sustainability, and supporting local businesses.
Precisely. And let's not forget the potential for vertical farms to create jobs and revitalize urban communities. Imagine abandoned warehouses being transformed into thriving vertical farms, providing fresh food and employment opportunities right in the heart of a city.
That's a powerful image. It's about creating a more resilient and sustainable food system that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
And speaking of sustainability, let's revisit sustainable packaging solutions. It's not just about swapping out plastic for paper. It's about rethinking the entire concept of packaging.
I've seen some really innovative ideas popping up, like companies developing edible packaging for certain food items, zero waste, and it's delicious.
That's a great example of the creative thinking happening in this space. We're also seeing a shift towards reusable packaging systems where consumers return their packaging to be refilled or repurposed.
So it's about moving beyond just reducing waste and embracing a more circular approach where packaging becomes a valuable resource, not just something we throw away.
Exactly. And this shift in consumer demand is driving innovation in material science. We're seeing packaging made from things like mushroom roots, seaweed, and even agricultural waste.
Now let's dive back into blockchain and explore its role in supply chain management. We talked about how it can create transparency and build trust with consumers, but what are some of the other benefits for businesses?
Imagine a world where you can track the movement of goods in real time, optimize your inventory levels with pinpoint accuracy, and automate payments and contracts. Blockchain can make all of that possible.
So it's not just about transparency, it's about creating a more efficient and interconnected global supply chain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that efficiency can translate into significant cost savings for businesses. By streamlining logistics and eliminating unnecessary paperwork, blockchain can help companies reduce overhead costs and increase their profit margins.
This sounds like a game changer for industries that rely on complex global supply chains like electronics manufacturing or the fashion industry.
Absolutely. And as blockchain technology matures, we can expect to see even more innovative applications emerge.
Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about electric vehicles or EVs. EV adoption is skyrocketing, but the lack of a robust charging infrastructure is still a major roadblock for many people. What are some of the innovative solutions being developed to address this challenge?
It's not just about building more charging stations. It's about making the charging experience seamless and convenient.
So no more range anxiety, no more waiting around for hours for your car to charge.
Exactly. We're seeing advancements in fast charging technology that can significantly reduce charging times. We're also seeing the emergence of battery swapping stations, where you can quickly swap out a depleted battery for a fully charged one, just like filling up your gas tank.
That's a really interesting idea. It eliminates the waiting time altogether.
And there are even companies working on inductive charging systems that would allow you to charge your EV wirelessly while you're driving using technology embedded in the roads.
Okay, now we're talking about the future. But wouldn't that require massive infrastructure upgrades, It sounds incredibly expensive.
It would definitely require significant investment. But remember, governments around the world are already investing heavily in EV infrastructure. And as the technology matures and economies of scale kick in, the costs are likely to come down.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, but we still have one more big idea to explore: health and wellness tech. We talked about AI-powered diagnostics earlier, but what other exciting developments can we expect to see in this space?
Think about virtual reality therapy, personalized fitness programs based on your DNA and wearable sensors that can detect early signs of illness. The possibilities are truly mind-boggling.
It's like having a personal health and wellness coach available 24/7. But wouldn't this technology exacerbate the digital divide, making these advancements only accessible to those who can afford them?
That's a crucial point. It's important to ensure that these technologies are developed and deployed in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
So it's not just about technological innovation, it's also about social responsibility and ensuring equitable access to these life-changing advancements.
Exactly. And as with any powerful technology, we need to have open and honest conversations about the potential risks and benefits.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive so far. We've explored some truly groundbreaking ideas that have the potential to reshape our world. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, haven't we? From AI personal assistants to sustainable packaging, vertical farming to blockchain, it's clear that innovation is happening at an incredible pace.
Yeah, it really is. It's like we're standing on the edge of a whole new world, and it's both exhilarating and a little bit daunting, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. It's exciting to think about all the possibilities, but it can also feel a little overwhelming. Where do we even begin to make sense of all these emerging trends and figure out where we fit in?
Right. That's the million-dollar question.
Hmm.
And it's one that every aspiring entrepreneur, innovator, or even just a curious individual should be asking themselves. Instead of getting caught up in the hype, the key is to focus on what truly resonates with you. What are your passions? What problems are you most driven to solve? What unique skills and perspectives can you bring to the table?
So it's not just about chasing every shiny new trend. It's about finding those opportunities that align with our own values and interests.
Exactly. The most successful businesses and innovations are often born out of a genuine desire to make a difference, to create something truly valuable and meaningful.
I love that. It's about finding that sweet spot where passion, purpose, and opportunity intersect.
Precisely. And remember, innovation isn't just about coming up with groundbreaking new inventions. It's also about finding creative ways to improve existing systems, processes, and products. It's about those small, incremental improvements that, when added together, can have a huge impact.
So even if we're not the next Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, we can still contribute to this wave of innovation by finding ways to make things better in our own spheres of influence.
Absolutely. Every small improvement, every creative solution, every act of ingenuity contributes to the collective progress of humanity. That's what makes this such an exciting time to be alive.
Mhm.
We're all part of this grand experiment figuring out how to use technology and innovation to create a more sustainable, equitable, and prosperous future for everyone.
And the beauty of it is that there's no one right answer, no single path to success. It's about embracing the unknown, experimenting, learning from our failures, and never losing sight of the bigger picture.
It's about being bold, being curious, and never stopping asking questions. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I encourage you to keep exploring these ideas. Stay curious and never stop believing in the power of human ingenuity to shape the future. The future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create together.
This has been an incredible journey, and I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.